every day. Small, small, small every day. Weed every day. Small every day. Now that you can actually hear me, warning on this one. If you have a weak stomach, do not watch this. Absolutely do not watch this. This is a read-along thing. I did it yesterday, but as I said, I have to share the pain. It is a horrible story. Definitely not for kids. I am going to cut some stuff out because it's just that bad. But there's... yeah. I'm not looking forward to reading this again. But it just seems YouTube worthy. It was a normal day in Gravity Falls, Oregon. Well, as normal as Gravity Falls gets, anyway. Dipper was reading his book, and Mabel, his twin sister, was wondering what he was doing. Dipper, are you going to keep your nose buried in that strange book all summer? You gotta go out and have an adventure, Mabel exclaimed. There are some parts of this I'm going to let you guys read, because it involves your full imagination. Not now, Dipper said quietly. I'm trying to decode this. He was looking at the cryptogram and said gibberish. Dipper was officially stumped. It does not matter in this, apparently, because I wrote it down yesterday. I was like, okay, I wonder what this is going to be. He could not figure out what it meant, and it seemed very mysterious to him. Uncle Stan is going to take us to the diner for lunch, Dipper, Mabel exclaims. Dipper, however, was not in the mood for the diner. He was publicly humiliated the last time he went, and thought the food was not very good anyway. Did not spell thought right. Mabel, I don't want to go to the diner, Dipper said solemnly. I want to go somewhere else. But there is really nothing else in town. Unless you count the Taco Bell near the forest, Mabel replied. There are parts of at the end. I'm pretty much gonna... well, no, I'll leave it in. Taco Bell, Dipper's ears perked up. He had never eaten at Taco Bell before, and ever since last week, he had a craving for Mexican food. Well, Taco Bell's not Mexican food, so... for some reason. Why don't we go to Taco Bell today, Dipper asked. I shared this with a friend, by the way, so... Taco Bell, Uncle Stan questioned. Why did you want to go there anyway? It smells like a bathroom when it gets clogged. I had my heart set on pancakes, Mabel moaned. Listen, you can go to the Taco Bell if you want to. But don't come crying to me when you smell like expired onions. I like Taco Bell. Even though I don't eat a lot of fast food. Oh, those new Boss Wraps, if you guys haven't had those, good. They're really good. Fine, I will, Dipper said harshly. I'm not sponsored, by the way. If I was sponsored, I definitely wouldn't be able to show this. Don't let the door hit you on the way out, he said. But as he was exiting the Mystery Shack, the door hit him on the way out. Stan laughed at him. I'm just paraphrasing there. I am going to just skip this part. This part's not important. Trust me. Basically, it's just burning time until he actually gets to the restaurant. I will leave a link if you guys want to read all this. But you're better off not. Just thinking about reading this again is making me want to throw up. Okay, Dipper decided what he wanted to order and then approached the register. Excuse me, I'll have... We only got tacos, the cashier interrupted. Okay, I guess I'll have a taco then, Dipper said. I don't think he spelled Dipper's name right. What did you say? Cashier yelled. I said I want a taco. Dipper yelled back. There, he fixed it. He missed a P the last time. Okay then, the cashier said, and went back for a few minutes. When he came out, he was carrying Dipper's taco. That'll be $1. The cashier said. Dipper gave him the money and went to sit down at the least grimiest table. He bit into the hot, spicy, juicy taco filled with thick, pure meat, mild, tantalizing black beans, and sour, fluffy, sour cream. He enjoyed the single bite of perfectly cooked taco that tasted it in his mouth after he swallowed it. But as he was about to bite into a second time, he felt a churning movement inside his body. Blah, 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 blah. He's got to go to the bathroom. And here's where I am no longer reading. I'll let you guys read it. I'm going to read it in my head just so I know you have enough time to read it. You can see where this is going. Bright red. Of course. What's sad, I have seen this show, so it makes it worse, because you could just picture it all the more vividly. If I go too fast, you guys are just gonna have to pause the video. I'm reading slowly for me. Like, I'm even waiting for all this to come out sometimes. Yeah, from the ceiling. This part's nothing compared to what's coming. I still want to throw up from reading this yesterday. I'm just going to let the words come as they go. I'm not even going to read it. Because it's going to make me throw up. And I have an extremely strong stomach. I lied. I'm skimming through it part of the way just to see about where we're at. This is basically one big, long, gay, incestuous, nasty porno type thing. You'll see what I mean. There's a picture I gotta cut out just because it shows some crap. But it's only one picture. The rest of it's all uh reading. It's not the word I was hoping to figure up. I can't think of what I was trying to think of, but come, Angel. Some of this will make you laugh. I said, worst thing I've ever seen game wise. It's not really worth the play. But it's one of those things, once it gets started, you can't look away. Two Girls, One Cup is a good example of that. You can't look away. It's like, what are they doing? We as a society love to be grossed out by this kind of stuff, no matter how much it sickens us. And I do not understand that. I probably ought to shut up so you guys can actually start picturing this stuff. Yeah, I see where it's at right now. And this still isn't the worst part. And one of what's sad is there's people out here that actually think this stuff is, you know, not me. No way. I can deal with him doing some of this, not the poop part, but the stuff before. I can deal with that. That's nothing to me. I've, I mean, you hear people doing that all the time. The poop bugs me. Still not the worst. If you see me grit my teeth, it's trying not to throw up. That's what you get, you nasty little prick. Don't believe that's castration. I believe castration's only the taking the nuts off. I should have grabbed a bucket just in case it threw up. Reading it once, I barely held it down. Oh, I have a bucket up there, I guess. I'm just gonna dump everything out of it. Yeah. Guess if I throw up, I gotta run to the bathroom. It's only across the hall. Again, this isn't even the worst part. Hold and bit my dick off. That part's funny. And there's no way this is a restaurant bathroom. Restaurant bathrooms are never this clean. You guys get a little bit of a breather now. At the mystery shack, Mabel was feeling very worried about Dipper, so she wandered off and tried to find him. She went off into the forest first. She knew where it was, and surprisingly got there in less time than Dipper. As she entered the newly cleaned doors, she immediately noticed the once bitten taco on one of the tables, and immediately knew it was Dipper's. Mabel rushed into the men's bathroom. She liked to use the urinals, and rushed to the random stalls. It was her brother's. Now we're back in here. Mabel looked at how messy the stall was, and how it was used to do the deed. Her pink sneaker wear was sticky from stepping into the reddish-brown mess of fluids. She walked around the messy stall for a bit, but then saw the most horrid sight she could imagine. If she's in his stall, how did she not see him initially? She welled up in tears inside it and began to cry. As she began crying, she sat down in a pile of the blood, feces, and cum, and looked at Dipper's lifeless face. It was beautiful. His smooth facial features complemented the circle of cum around his lips. Nasty. Back to you guys reading. Ugh. I'm gonna have to move the screen here in a little bit. You can't see that. You should be able to read that without seeing her. Really, I could have definitely done that. Oh, you guys couldn't read that. Her and her brother, she's having sex with her big brother. I'm sorry. I didn't realize the thing up there was at the top of the screen. She kept holding on to his lacerated dick in her vagina, sloshing around her tongue all around the mouth. She kept pulling in and out of Dipper's stick. Blood was getting all over the walls, not noticing one bit. She did not want to leave the body many now. She would kill herself and they could be on coitus forever. If only Dipper could kiss her back. Okay. Now that picture's going away. Sorry about that. YouTube might have allowed that one. I don't know, because you really couldn't see much, but I wasn't going to take the chance. It wasn't even really them. It was just a couple of adult versions, maybe, like variations. Mabel vomited on it. Here's the worst part, which only made it worse. It grew bigger and bigger. Oh, Dipper, she said softly, and Mabel started to scream. She was horrified at the sight of it and began to barf again. She tried to put a giant mix of blood cum and vomit. You can hear me yakking, and feces on the dick, but it didn't work. She tried to suck it all off, but found herself enjoying sucking and tasting Dipper's penis blood. She kept on sucking on it, tasting the blood and touching the funneling Dipper's dead erectile muscle. It's funny and nasty at the same time. I think I'm more laughing at my reaction. She didn't want to go to jail for necrophilia. She was only a child who bit off more than she could chew, I'd say. I don't know if you can see this. My eyes are watering from gagging. I have too vivid of imagination. The worst is over, guys. Unless you count mutilation. Blood, the man whispered to himself. What did you say, sister? Mabel asked him, not understanding what he was saying. Little girl, do you know what is on your cheek? The man asked. Mabel repeated what the mysterious man did her cheek and said back to him, It's blood. And with blood being on your cheek, have you developed, shall we say, a desired taste for it? The man asked back. Mabel did not notice the retractable chisel in his hand. Right hand. Yeah. I didn't mean to. I just. Shh. The man quieted her. If you like the addicting taste of it, why didn't you say so? And without warning, the man cut across across the chest with the chisel. She screamed at the pain of it. Blood started to pour from the diagonal cut fast, almost covering her stomach. You can lick that up. Your blood probably tastes better than that kid's, the man said, pointing to Dipper. The man gave another cut across her face. She screamed again, louder this time. Now, you can get the blood close to your face, just to make sure you're silent. The man then slid her across the neck. She couldn't scream this time. The man went into her neck and pulled out the 3 vocal cords. The man stretched the cords out and jumped rope with them while slashing Mabel across the face several times. I don't know why I find that funny. When her face was cut so many times that the nose fell off, that her nose fell off, the man decided it was time for the scalping. He took out a bigger knife and slammed it right above Mabel's eyebrows. The man gripped the knife handle, still in her face, and began to make a deep cut. The man put all his strength into it because he decided to make the hardest part first. He tried to do it right on the skin, but sadly did not do the job he liked. Mabel's head was now topless, the top of her skull exposed and violently cut, so that you could see the brain inside of the skull. Two pieces of muscle and flesh were still attached to Mabel's hairy scalp, so the man cut them off. The scalp was now thin as skin and still full of Mabel's hair. He hung the scalp up on the whore on the door. I'm sure that's supposed to say hook on the door. It would be his prize, something he kept for himself. Now the man prepared for the rest of the body. What he wanted to do next was make it rain. Not water as you may think. He wanted it to rain something else. He got down into Mabel's blood-covered slash chest, grabbed her not fully developed breast, and began to cut off her nipples. Once he was done, the blood started to come out like Old Faithful geyser. He was amazed by the sight of the fountain of blood and began to dance around the stall, stepping in all the fluids that were on the floor. When the blood started to flow a little less slowly, the man moved on to the legs. The man hung Mabel's nipples next to the scalp. The nips were his prize too. And started to cut Mabel's legs. He started to cut faster than a race car driver on a smooth asphalt track. The cuts kept on appearing on her kneecaps until the cap bone was exposed. By that time, her lower legs and lower body were only attached by a thin string of cartilage. If you guys have made it this far, kudos. Then the guy moved onto her toes. With the knife as sharp as a knife, he cut every other one of her toes off. I think what I'm finding funny is how this guy's putting his grammatical crap. Mabel's body was losing so much blood it started to flatten out. The place where it was mostly coming out of was her toes. The toe blood was making a sea of red on the floor. The man now, with his Taco Bell fleece jacket splattered with red on it, now dug the knife into Mabel's left foot. He began to make another cut, similar to what... my eyes are burning. To what he did to her scalp, and began to cut the skin off of the foot. The cut was much better than what he did to the scalp. He did the same to the other foot, and then hung the skin up next to the scalp. Mabel's feet were now just a big mess of flesh, muscle, blood, and nerves. Mabel, who was still alive... Okay, I thought she was dead. Face now completely exposed to all the cuts. That would suck, being skinned alive like that. All the cuts she was getting. Mouth opening like a gaping person. The blood was already covering her chest. Since the man actually had a soul, he didn't want to subject the little girl to misery she was about to endure. So he took the long knife and stabbed the middle of her chest where her heart was. He didn't want her to endure any misery. Couldn't you have killed her before this? Blood poured out of it more than her cut off nipples did. Once most of the blood was done spewing, the man got down near Mabel's bloody vagina. He very carefully took his knife, got down near the cervix, and stuck the knife's blade up the hole. My wife's probably wondering, what the hell is he reading? While in Mabel's cock cave, the man was rotating the knife, cutting up the walls of Mabel's egg chamber. The tip of it finally got inside, and very carefully snipped out every one of Mabel's fallopians. It was a hard job. He had to be very careful. He had done it many times before, but today wasn't his best day. He accidentally slit some of the sides of Mabel's vagina, cutting the muscles surrounding it. The man was very embarrassed. What's he got to be embarrassed about? He's a murderer. Shit, hopefully nobody will notice that. Okay, are you displaying the bodies? He said to himself. He took the knife out of Mabel's hole with ovaries and 2 fallopians on the blood-covered blade. The man got out a big plastic trash bag and scraped the knife on it, making the contents go into the bag. But since the knife's handle was covered in more blood than it usually was, he accidentally let it slip and dug into Mabel's right shoulder. This guy's not very good with a knife. Perfect, said the man ominously. The man got out of a pair of vinyl gloves and put them on his hands. He gripped the knife tightly and wanting a deeper cut than he had before. After a while, after digging and digging and digging, the man's knife got through to the other side. Once the man saw the job he did, he threw the arm in the trash bag. Ugh, my eyes. He felt great pride and felt that he could easily achieve his goal now. So he went to the other side of Mabel's nearly skinned body and began to cut the other arm off. It was easier to do than the other one, surprisingly, and once he'd done with that, he threw that arm in the garbage bag. Mabel's body was now almost flat due to the blood loss. I don't think that's how it works. The man tasted some of it and thought that he should get a jar for 4 later. 4. He put a number 4. Well, spelling wise. Now for the legs. The man did the same with her legs. They felt like they were getting easier to cut off each time. The legs were off. The man threw it in the bag. Mabel's body was flat now. Almost all the blood from her body was gone. Embracing Mabel's dismembered body, he hugged it, licked the remaining blood off, and put the body in the bag. The man now had just discovered Dipper on the floor. Really? You couldn't have seen him? You know he was there because you were talking to Mabel about him. He must have caused all this on the walls. Another one couldn't hurt, the man said to himself, and started to cut bar off Dipper's appendages. He did the same order, same manner as Mabel's. He was done quickly and put all of it in the bag as well. Now it was time to clean up, as you can imagine. The bathroom stall was a big mess of fluids. The man got out a big chisel and started to chisel the gum off the wall. Really, you need a chisel for that? And into the bag. It took a long while, 2 or 3 hours. Once it was done, he needed to clean the floor, so he went outside the stall, got the mop that he had with him the whole time. He mopped the whole mess of things off the floor into the bag. Oh, he's putting it all into the bag. Oh. Until the floor's walls look respectable for a fast food bathroom anyway. The man got out some toilet cleaner and cleaned the toilet because it was way messier than the stall itself. After a few minutes, the toilet cleaning was over. And the stall was clean as a new car. It smelled like a 2. The man left the bathroom and the stall waited, ready for its next victim. The man got out of the bathroom and went into the back of the kitchen of the Taco Bell. We're about done with this, guys. He got near a machine, and by the way, I can confirm, Taco Bell does not do this, obviously. But if you're dumb enough to think they might, I need to cover my butt. This is obviously no way to actually affiliated with Taco Bell or anything like that. It's just a read-along game thing. You want to take somebody to court? Take the authors to court here. I didn't do nothing. I just played it. He got near a machine. It was an odd-looking machine. It had a crank on the side, a funnel on top, and something shaped like a taco on the side near a conveyor belt. Why do I have to do everything myself? The man questioned. Well, it sounds like you're the only one there. He hung up his blood-stained jacket and the sunglasses, refilling his Taco Bell employee uniform. It was spotless. The man took out the bag and one by one started to put body parts into the funnel. Once the bag was half empty, he kept on putting more parts in. Only this time he turned the crank. Once the bag was empty, he popped out 2 tacos. They weren't really tacos, really. They were actually human body parts in the shape of tacos. They went down the conveyor belt, and the employees, using spray cans, began to spray paint the body parts. Once they got to the Taco Bell tissue paper at the end of the conveyor belt, they looked like genuine tacos. The man grabbed one of the tacos, wrapped in tissue paper, and went to the front of the counter. He handed it to the old man cashier. Okay, so that he wasn't the only one there. Then went back into the depths of the kitchen. So wait, there's another employee that's okay with all this? Really? That looks big, kind of big for a Taco Bell. It's Zeus. Here's your taco, sir, the cashier said to the fat customer. Thank you. Handing the cashier the money. And that's the end of it. It is an extremely stupid game. But since I'd read it, I have to share the pain. Unfortunately, I had to read it twice for you guys. Because of all this crap. And I'm not doing it again. I doubt you guys enjoyed it, but leave a like and share it just so you can share the pain with everybody else. See you in the next one. Bye.